I'm Alex Morash, and let's queer politics. Maine Senate candidate Troy Jackson highlights his political evolution on LGBTQ rights. Maine Democratic Senate candidate Troy Jackson is drawing attention for his willingness to publicly acknowledge and explain his past opposition to LGBTQ rights as he campaigns to unseat Republican Senator Susan Collins. Jackson, a former lawyer and current president of the Maine Senate, has described his 2009 vote against marriage equality as his, quote, worst vote ever, end quote. At the time, he was the only Democrat in the Maine Legislature to oppose legalizing same-sex marriage. Since then, Jackson has reversed his positions on queer rights and reproductive freedoms. He now supports marriage equality, backed Maine's post-Roe reproductive privacy protections, and has consistently voted in favor of LGBTQ+ rights during his tenure as Senate president. Jackson has attributed his shift to conversations with LGBTQ constituents, women, families, and healthcare providers. That changed his understanding of equal rights and bodily autonomy. Rather than portraying the change as politically convenient, he has openly acknowledged that his earlier views were mistaken. Political commentators have noted Jackson's understated campaign style, contrasting it with the more combative political messaging that has become common in recent years. His low-key demeanor has also drawn comparisons to former Democratic Senate hopeful Graham Platner. Supporters argue Jackson's openness about his evolution may resonate with voters seeking authenticity over political theatrics. Well, you know what? I think it's good for candidates to, when they have mistakes, and to evolve. And I have been an advocate over the years of candidates that have either been connected to homophobic positions or anti-gay positions, for changing and giving them support at what they tell us they do. I do that for two reasons. Because one, I do think people change. Like Graham Platner, he did a lot of changing. Like I in many ways love him, but he was changing for like his entire campaign, girl. But like the other reason is like it also shows real political power when people start apologizing for not liking you in the past. And for the gay community and the LGBTQ community, when politicians have to like kowtow to us, it means that we're doing something right politically. So good for Mr. Jackson. You know, I hope he does a great job. I hope he defeats Susan Collins because I just can't stand that lady. She's so annoying.
I think the polls are working in his favor so far, and I think there is a kind of political dysfunction when people insist on that the candidate never changes how they vote from the very beginning of their political history. I mean, look at the other side of the coin. You know, Republicans change their positions all the time, depending on, you know, what the prevailing wind is. And, or, you know, whatever 1600 Pennsylvania, you know, wanted from the gold-plated god. But the thing is, it is good for people to change opinion every once in a while. I mean, after all, Obama changed his position for same-sex marriage. We are not mad at him about it. So...
I mean, like you said, everybody changes their position on something, anything. And we have to also realize that, I mean, even our closest friends and our family members all have changed. Some have probably also changed their position on when you came out. So it doesn't surprise me. I think the biggest point to actually to show here is that he's not just saying that he's changed his position, because he is actively voting in favor of queer protective rights and those types of things. So he's backing up what he's saying on the stage with actual actions. You know, we have seen so many political figures who say one thing to get voted and do something else.
But that's a distinction, right? The whole thing is that, yes, your previous votes, you can regret it, you can apologize to the community, but once you promise something on the campaign trail, and then you flip, Fetterman, and then you flip, like John Fetterman, is going to be, you know, it's going to be seen as hypocritical, inauthentic, or worse.
Correct.
Yeah, well, it's very positive, as everyone's really alluded to, that he's, you know, got to know his constituents and, you know, related to them, and he's truly being a representative rather than some of our right-wing foes that are out there right now.
Exactly. And, you know, for the LGBTQ community, like Mr. Jackson does not come off as like a potential threat. Like he was a Bernie-endorsed candidate for Maine governor, and whether you like my fellow socialists and the progressives or not, they're not known as casting anti-LGBTQ votes. Like, that's just not something that I've yet to see. Like, AOC doesn't, like, sell out the queer community. Like, Mandani doesn't sell out the queer community. Like, Cory Bush never had a problem with queer people. Like, he's running with that crowd, and if he's running with that crowd, he's probably going to be fine on LGBTQ stories and issues. And, and that is a great story for today, and there is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBT stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.